Hey ladies, Kiki Black here. So we just finished our Feminine and Fit workshop on goal setting and making goals that are impossible to fail, okay? As always, I believe the live workshops are the best because you get to interact. I give a little bit more. We can talk about people's specific situations and apply it to the calls. But for some reason, if you did not make our live call, here is a wrap up of what we discussed. Also, if you did make the call but you just need a reminder of the discussion or some information that we talked about, this is here to help you, okay? So make sure you guys have a pen and paper ready because you do want to take notes during this, and there is a homework assignment that is given at the end of it to make sure that you are setting those goals, and not only setting those goals but achieving those goals in your life. All right, so first things first, we all know that we set goals sometimes, or we say, hey, I want to do this, or I want to achieve this. And sometimes we find ourselves going through cycles, specifically when it comes to fitness and our health. We may say, hey, I want to lose weight, or I am working on my health. I want to eat better. This is going on with my body. And a lot of times we start those things and then we're really excited about it. Then some time goes on and we end up falling off and find ourselves starting over again and again and again, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with starting over, but ideally you want to start something and finish it, achieve that goal, and then continue to build better goals outside of that continue to go and improve so that you're getting better in the process. Not to mention, when you set a goal, you achieve the goal, it really does wonders for your self-confidence because you're like, hey, I know that I can actually manifest the life that I desire. It's not just something that I'm saying. I know that if I see myself in a certain place, if I set the goal, I stay consistent, that I can make it happen, right? So that's what we're going to talk about in more depth as we go on, and making sure that we are putting ourselves in the position to almost be impossible to fail, right? Sometimes it has to do with the types of goals that we're setting, or we're not going through the details enough, or we don't take certain things into mind, like life happening, and then we find ourselves in this downward spiral, or feeling bad for ourselves, or doing the same thing over and over again with no positive outcome or no achievement from the things that we said that we wanted to do, okay? Now, I'm going to put as a sub point the importance of goal setting. Now, I say this all the time. It's important to know and to set goals, because if you don't know where you're going, you have no idea if you got there. How do you know when you got there, right? How do you know if you're going the opposite direction of where you said you wanted to go? How do you know if you're stagnant? If there was no goal, there was no destination. I'll say that again. Goal setting is important because you don't know if you have reached your destination, if you don't have one, if it's not clearly outlined, right? You have no idea what's happening, if you're getting closer to it, if you're getting further away from it, or if you're stagnant. But if you set the goal, then you can see your progress over time, or your lack thereof. So I want you to put number 2 on your sheet, okay? Number 2 is talking about the types of goals. There are different types of goals. I believe in separating the goals so that you can have a clear understanding in each area. Now, as your life goes on, as time goes on, there may be some areas or some goals that are more important than others. But for the sake of your homework that we're going to do, we are going to set goals in 4 categories, okay? There are personal goals. There are professional goals. There are health goals, and there are relationship goals, okay? Personal goals, maybe there is something mental that you need to work on. Maybe you have some unhealed hurt that you want to take the steps to move past that, okay? Professional goals, maybe there's something that you're trying to achieve professionally. Maybe you're trying to get a promotion in the workplace. Maybe you're trying to start a business, a nonprofit organization, or something like that. Health goals, okay? Maybe you want to gain some weight, put on some muscle. Maybe you want to lose some weight. Maybe you want to stay consistent in improving the health of your mind, body, and spirit. Health doesn't necessarily mean only physical. It could also mean mental and spiritual as well. As you guys know, with the Feminine and Fit Challenge or with the Feminine and Fit movement, we put an emphasis on that, with health not only being physical. Physical is a huge part because your health is so important, right? But also that mental health, that emotional health, and that spiritual health as well, because they all are intertwined and they all have an effect on each other. So setting goals in the health area as well. And with the health area, sometimes you can even have multiple things there, okay? So if you want to put subcategories on the health section, this absolutely is fine as well, so that it can cover your physical, mental, and your spiritual as well. Relationship goals, that is another one. Relationship goals. Relationship goals don't necessarily have to be only romantic relationships. It could be with family, friends, colleagues, anything. Want to set a goal for the relationship building, and having relationships is so important for so many different reasons, not just romantically. Now, if one of your desired outcomes for your life is to perhaps have family, marriage, whatever it may be, of course you will be focusing in on those romantic relationships, but also the relationships with your parents and things like that, even if they are deceased, right? Maybe you have a parent that's no longer with you and that relationship wasn't the best. You can set goals to help that relationship with that person by healing that unhealed hurt, by working to process certain things that may have happened in that relationship or in that situation, to ultimately help you be the best version of you that you can be. All right, so again, I'm going to say those categories is personal, professional, health, and relationship. Okay, now I want to emphasize the importance of connecting self-confidence to goal setting and achieving goals. When we have a goal, we set a goal and we achieve it, it does wonders for your self-confidence. Again, it reminds you that yes, you can have and achieve the desired outcomes for life, whatever it is, right? Now, of course, we're not trying to be someone else, but let's say, for example, if you want to move and live out of the country. For a while, I didn't think it was possible. But if you set goals, you do the work, right? The work meaning the research, looking at the numbers, all of those things, it is very much achievable. I didn't think it was, but here I am in Panama City, Panama, moved from Atlanta, Georgia, all right? So it helps you to know that you can manifest the life that you want. You can do it. It doesn't take anyone else outside of you. You can do it. And when you set these goals, even if they're minute goals, as you start to achieve more and more and more, your self-confidence and your strength and your knowing of yourself starts to increase, and it starts to change the way that you function in the world. Self-confidence changes the way that you interact in certain situations. You may even notice that you get more results the more your self-confidence increases. So this is another reason why we want to make sure that we are working on that goal setting and making sure that those goals are impossible to fail, okay? Number 3, all right? We're going to put setting SMART goals, okay? Setting SMART goals, and if you're writing it down, I want you to write SMART in all caps, SMART. Setting SMART goals, okay? Now with setting SMART goals, the S stands for specific, okay? You want to set specific goals, details. For example, if we are talking about health and wellness, we don't want to just put, oh, I want to lose 200 pounds. Okay, that's specific, but let's go even more detailed and more specific, all right? Are we losing 200 pounds of fat? Because losing 200 pounds of fat versus muscle, there's a difference, and it also changes your health, right? And then once you set those specific goals, then you can dive deeper to get the things that you need to do to get to the ultimate goal, right? The M stands for measurable goals. How do you measure your progress, and the process as well? So you want to be able to measure it so that you can see the progress that you're making over time, and then that you can know where the destination is. Now, of course, once you get to that destination, you set a new goal and you continue to work to improve and be better. But make sure that they can be measured, right? Again, using the weight thing or the weight loss thing, for example. Are you measuring your weight line? Are you looking at the scale? Are you looking at improvements in your numbers at the hospital, blood pressure numbers as far as the insulin in your body? What are you looking at to determine how the goal is progressing forward or not? They need to be measurable. The A in SMART is achievable goals. Achievable goals. Now, same example as before. You want to make sure it's achievable, meaning if I know that I have if I'm 200 pounds overweight and I know I want to lose 200 pounds, yes, I can say that I want to lose 200 pounds, but is it achievable to do in 3 months, right? Because if I say, hey, I want to lose 200 pounds by my birthday, which is 2 months from now, is it achievable, or am I setting myself up for failure and disappointment, right? Now, achievable is, you have to be careful with that, because you want to find a balance between challenging yourself, but also making sure that it's achievable and a realistic goal. So if I know that there are 5 months left in the year, and I know that I have 200 pounds that I want to lose, or that I need to lose, right? I'm not going to say, by the end of the year, I'm going to lose 5 pounds. It's like, girl, please, you could have lost those 5 pounds in a week. Why are we setting goals so small? At the same time, we're not going to say, hey, I want to lose 200 pounds by next month, because it's not really achievable, and it's essentially setting us up for failure or for unhealthy habits. If you lose 200 pounds in a month or even 2 months, it's a strong chance that you got some other stuff going on. All right, so make sure those goals are achievable. The R is for relevant. The R in SMART is for relevant. Make sure that your goals are relevant to what you said the desired outcomes for your life is, right? We all have desired outcomes, whether it be to be successful in business, whether it be family, marriage, whatever it is for you. It all differs, and over time it may change as well, right? But you want to make sure that the goals that you're setting are relevant to your desired outcomes in life, right? So if I know I don't want to do anything with cars, I'm not gonna set a goal to be able to fix 5 engines in 2 hours. Like what is that relevant to? I don't do anything with cars. I wouldn't even know the car that I drive if that wasn't mine, right? So make sure that they are relevant to your desired outcomes, not someone else's, not what somebody else wants for you or what they think that you should do or whatever. And you have to be careful with this as well, especially if you're in a work environment and they have certain goals for you. If your desired outcome is to be the owner of your own business, maybe you don't need a goal set for what you're doing, or as detailed as important goals for what you're doing at work, right? So of course you want to be a good employee, you want to do your job to the fullest, but if your desired outcome is to be an entrepreneur, you may not set specific goals on a project that you're working in at work, all right? Of course, being a good employee makes you a good entrepreneur or good boss, right? But you just don't want to go too deep into the wrong direction that has nothing to do with you or your desired goals, okay? The T in SMART is for time bound. Time bound. Now, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but time bound. Put a time limit on it. If you are losing weight, a certain amount of weight, what is the time limit? When are we achieving this goal by, right? If we have the goal to have children, let's say, now, you know, I am one to say that it's all in God's timing, because I had a situation before, but you know, if y'all was on the call, I would tell y'all, but y'all are catching this replay, so you know, make sure you catch the next live call. But those are one of those things that are in God's timing, right? But let's say if I am having a child, I know that I have a biological clock, right? So there's certain things that I'm going to do to achieve that goal or to push a little harder in that goal, because I know that there's already a timeline on it. It doesn't mean past a certain age that you can't have kids, but we know that biologically some things get harder, or more money may have to be invested, or we may have to do more to achieve those goals, right? So putting times on it. Hey, I'm going to make sure that I am taking my medication or my vitamins to help me get pregnant by this time per day, right? So specific goals and time bounds for the entire goal, but also for the specific, more detailed goals that help us get to the ultimate or the larger goals as well. All right. So reviewing those again, the word SMART, we are setting SMART goals. The S stands for specific, the M stands for measurable, the A stands for achievable, the R stands for relevant, and the T stands for time bound. All right, now we are jumping down to point number 4. Overcoming obstacles. This one is a huge one, because a lot of times people are so excited about setting goals and they're like, oh, I'm going to change my life and all of this, but they don't consider the fact that obstacles will arrive. Y'all, we are putting out positive energy. We are working hard. We're staying consistent and doing the things to improve the health of our mind, body, and spirit, so that we can better our relationships, our lives, the lives of our family and our kids. But life is life. Life still happens. Every time something happens in your life, you don't have to put a stop or brakes on everything, especially if it's something to help you in your mind, body, and spirit. I have worked with thousands of people, more specifically, thousands of women. And one thing that I see that happens a lot of time, where people keep starting their goals over and over and over again, is that they're doing good, they're on it, and the moment that life happens, they're like, I need to take a break, I just need to take a second. And then the next thing you know, a year, 2 years, a few months pass, and they have backtracked, or they find themselves starting over again. Life is going to happen, right? People die, relationships are destroyed, people betray you, right? Kids act crazy, parents be tripping, people get fired, all of those things happen. Now, I'm not speaking any of that on you, and I'm not being negative, but I'm saying that life happens. And so you have to go into this goal setting and into your life with the mindset that, hey, I know that in order to achieve any goal and to be the best version of myself, I need to consistently and intentionally work to improve myself, mind, body, and spirit. With that being said, I know that when life happens, it's going to make me want to pull back in certain areas. But I know that regardless of what happens, I still have to be strong and strengthening myself in these areas if I want to be better. Okay? Now, I hate to be so blunt with this, but let's say your auntie passes away or something like that. Does you going to the gym keep your auntie, does it make your auntie less dead? No, it doesn't. Does you not going to the gym make that man want to act right? No, it doesn't. Does you not going to the gym, does you not doing your affirmations, does you not holding yourself accountable to eating healthy and making sure that you are feeding your mental and your spiritual in a positive way, whether it be through meditation, whether it be through reading, whether it be to listening to positive things to pull up yourself, does anything that could happen to you, does that affect it? No. Now, on the opposite end, let's say you did experience a death. Could going to the gym help you? Yeah, it could. Guess what? You might be feeling like crap, but those positive hormones that are released, maybe you get a little endorphin kick, make you feel a little bit better. It doesn't mean, because I went to the gym, I'm not sad anymore. But maybe instead of boo-hoo crying, you might get a nice, cute Mariah Carey tear. Who knows, right? But making sure that when life happens, no matter how intense it is, that we know life will happen. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what we're going to experience in this life, but we have to hold ourselves accountable to, number one, doing the things that we said that we would do, but making sure that we are still pouring into and working on ourselves so that when those things hit, okay, we can better process them. Okay? We can better process them. We can better get through them instead of letting them weigh us down and then finding ourselves just coming back to the light 2 or 3 years later because we are just now getting over the fact that such and such left us, or just now getting over the fact that such and such is gone. Much easier said than done, right? Much easier said than done, but it's important to acknowledge that life is going to happen, and when life happens, it doesn't mean that the goals stop. Now, certain goals are more important than other ones. Certain ones have more value, right? So if I'll give you an example. If there's a professional goal and you're like, hey, I broke down this professional goal. I want to be entrepreneur A, B, C, and D, and I'm going to go to this conference. It does say that was one of the points or the things that you put underneath. It doesn't mean that you don't take a break and you say, hey, I'm not going to the conference. I need some time. That's fine. But saying, hey, I'm not working on my business. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing anything for the business right now because I'm hurting. That's unacceptable, or at least it should be unacceptable for you. Okay? Not to mention, sometimes achieving these goals, it gives you a little bit of a boost, a little bit of energy, a little bit of a smile because, hey, you did what you said you were going to do. You followed through, and now you were starting to see progress, and you were starting to see that you were actually manifesting the life that you desire. All right? So overcoming obstacles is a huge one. Now, I think it's fair to say that you should look into some strategies to overcoming obstacles, right? Which refers me to last week's call, Femininity Workshop, where we talked about mental and emotional fatigue and how to get out of there. So we talked about some strategies there. So go back and watch that one. And then, of course, as time goes on, we'll talk about more strategies to overcoming these obstacles. All right. Same thing with our emotional intelligence workshop. That one is more so for interactions or obstacles that may be happening in the moment, how to better get the desired outcome from those situations. But we have some out there for you to go back and watch, and we'll continue to talk more as the weeks go on as well. And then, of course, Google ChatGPT, amazing ways. I love ChatGPT. You can say, help me find some ways to overcome obstacles with A, B, C, and D. You can even put it down specific. All right? Use what you have around you. All right? And then number 5 is build a supportive network. Build a supportive network, y'all. If you're watching this video, more than likely you are on board with the Feminine and Fit movement, which means you have a supportive network. Use it. I'm here. The other ladies in the group are here. You can go into our chat, which is amazing. You can give as much information or as little as you want to. You can go in there and be like, y'all, I'm going through it today. You don't even have to go into details. Somebody may send you a YouTube link to something positive listen to. You might get a scripture, you might get encouragement, or you may get nothing, but at least you use the avenues that you had. In addition to supportive networks, I told them during the call earlier, I remember when a situation happened in my previous marriage and I found out what was going on. And I was like, man, like this might be over, but I was going through hard. I was just like, wow, I was all of a sudden by myself. I didn't have anybody. I felt like I lost the 2 closest people to me at the same time, you know? At the time, well, this is a recording, so I ain't gonna go into too much detail on it, but I'll say this. I had somebody that was in my corner, that was a family member that was always there. I felt like they betrayed me, left me out. And then it was my ex-husband, you know, and so it was all of those things like back to back. And so it was hard. And I will say a little bit of ego helped me. All right. This is the one time that ego helped me, because in my head, I was like, man, like I just want to sit here on this couch with my dog. I got a dog. A new dog, and drink wine and watch Netflix. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to go anywhere, especially because it's awkward because I just keep randomly bursting out in tears. I don't want to do it. And the ego kicked in. It was like, oh, so you're going to be the fat ex? And I was like, oh, no, I am not going to be the fat sloppy ex. Somebody going to look at me and be like, somebody come. They be like, oh, who's the ex-wife? Or who is she? If you want to say who, this is her. I'm not about to be sloppy. Every time you see me, it's going to be like, dang, he fumbled that. Yes. Right? So that's where the ego kicked in a little bit. The ego kicked in a little bit. It helped. But I want to give a shout out to Dex Flex. Why not flex up? In Atlanta, because during that time, I was like, hey, I know I'm a personal trainer, certified personal trainer, all of these things. I got all of these credentials. I cannot think. I don't want to work out. I don't want to move. And even coming up with the exercises, I cannot mentally handle this. So I reached out to him and I said, Dex, it's some stuff going down. I need you to be my trainer. And he's like, Kiki, I got you. Like, what's up? And I was like, Dex, I don't have no money. Now, as a personal trainer, people come to you like that. You're like, okay, well, call me when you got some money. Like, my services aren't free. Like, whatever. You're like, this is what it is. But because of our relationship, working together, previously he knew my heart. He knew the type of person I am, and he knows that I respect what he does business-wise, and so that if I could, I would be, paying him. So I reached out to him. I asked him. I told him what it was. Gave him a little rundown of the situation. He's Kiki, I got you. Come on. And I said, Dex, I need you to stay on me. He was like, oh, I'm staying on you. You're not about to make me look bad. He said, you got to make me some money. If you ain't paying me, you got to bring me at least 10 plus more customers. So yes. And I'm so grateful because at the time, that was my support system. When I was at home and I was just like, yeah, I'm not going out today, he'd give me a call, text message, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, Dex, calm down. You don't have to talk to me like that. Get your ass to this. Calm down. Chill out. But that's what I needed, is for somebody to stay on me and to not let me go missing for too long, right? And then as time went on, I started to develop relationships with some of the other ladies in the gym, and they would do the same thing. Kiki, where you been? You ain't following up. Where you been? You better be out of town. You better be traveling. And it got to the point where I was no longer in my house by myself, and I was like, girl, I'm coming back. I'll be back next week. I'm in Miami for Femininity Fit weekend, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing this class. And that matched with some other things helps me to pull me out of my dark space and get to a space where I am today. So again, shout out to Dex. Love you so much. Y'all go follow him on Instagram and all of that. And shoot him a little message and say, thank you for helping Kiki during her hard time. She talked to us about you. But putting yourself in the position, and even when you are embarrassed or shy to say something certain time, shy to say certain things is sometimes, y'all get what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you don't be wanting everybody in your business, and you're embarrassed because of your situation, and you don't want to necessarily reach out. Try to use your discernment to know who to reach out to and how to reach out to them and what to reach out to them for. I was in a situation with Dex where I knew I could trust them, right? And somebody that I respected their craft and what they did in the fitness industry, which I'm funny acting when it comes to that, especially with me saying that somebody is my trainer. But respected him very much, and I reached out to him, and it worked out for me. So don't fall in the trap of, I got to tell everybody what's going on and what happened and no, this is not a negative venting session. Sometimes you may be in a situation that you need to vent, and that's okay, but make sure that you are not constantly regurgitating stuff all over the place, and get people in your network to help you achieve your goals. And it doesn't have to always be after something negative happened, right? It could just be in general. Get people around you to help you be better versions of yourself. It's good to have people around you that you're pulling up and you're helping sometimes, but make sure that you have people around you too that are doing more of the things that you want to do, that are living the goals that you want to achieve, or somewhat, right? And then the last one, but not the least, is create an action plan. All right, create an action plan. So this brings us back to the homework assignment. What we are doing is creating an action plan. So in each category, we have our categories of professional, personal, health, and relationships. I want you to think about each of those and say, hey, what do I want to achieve in this area in the next year? And then from the year, back and say, okay, in order to achieve that goal in the next year, what do I have to do each quarter to achieve that goal? And then say, okay, what do I have to do each month to achieve the goal for the quarter? Back it up. What do I have to do each week to achieve the goal for the month, to achieve the goal for the quarter, to achieve the goal for the year? Then back it up all the way to what do I need to do every single day to achieve the goal for the week, to achieve the goal for the month, to achieve the goal for the quarter, to achieve the goal for the year. Okay? Think about it, write it down, take notes, okay? But what I need specifically is for each of the 4 categories, I need 4 things that you're going to do every single day in order to help you get closer to those goals. Now, some things may go into the week. So specifically, if I have a health goal of losing a certain amount of weight, or maybe I'm trying to put on a certain amount of muscle, I may say, hey, I'm going to work out every single day because I know my goal for the week is to be in the gym at least 3 to 4 times. That's what I do now. I'm almost 6 months pregnant. I'll be 6 months pregnant in a couple of days. And I have that goal that I'm working out every single day, because in my head, I know there's going to be days here in Panama where it's pouring down raining. I'm not going to want to go in the rain. There's going to be days where it's extremely hot, and I'm going to feel like I'm going to pass out if I go outside. So I'm not going to do that. I know there are days that I may have some work to do. So if I set the goal and I say that every single day that I'm going, even when life happens, even when situations happens, even when I need some rest and my body's telling me to take a break, I will get a minimum of 3 days in. Was like that before I got pregnant and like that now, and keeping that consistency, because my ultimate goal, right? So we talked about goals for the days, months, weeks, all of those things. My ultimate goal is, after I have my baby, is to be able to get back to my routine and my fitness regimen. Now, of course, I'm going to be gentle with myself and all of those things, and give myself time to bond with the baby and not stress over the body and all of that. Yes, all of that stuff. But, okay, that whole having baby weight and looking like I just had a baby and my baby is now 18, it's a no-go for me. It's a no-go. And it's unacceptable for myself and the person who I said that I am, and for my desired outcomes. So I am making a plan. I am staying consistent with my plan. I am doing things today, even though the baby isn't here yet, to prep me for the goals and the desired outcome that I want, right? I know that sometimes we see those before and afters, and it just isn't realistic for the average person, right? It isn't realistic for the average person, but guess what? I don't see myself as an average person. I see myself as an extraordinary person, and I see myself as a person who can get it done. Am I going to have 6 packs 2 months after I have a baby? I don't know. Maybe not. But guess what? Maybe so. I'm sure going to do what I need to do to try to figure it out. I'm not going to be sitting up here eating, I was about to say bean pies, but bean pies or oatmeal pies, and just hoping that the universe is just going to somehow throw a 6-pack on this bad boy. No, I am doing the things necessary now to get me to those results and the desired outcomes then. All right? I understand that things will happen during the process. I understand that I may have to overcome some obstacles. I understand that bringing a new baby into the picture, especially when it's my first time having kids, it may be a complete shock for me. It may be harder than I thought it was going to be. I might not even mentally prepare for it. I may not get any sleep. I understand that all of those things are things that may come, but it doesn't change the goal, and it doesn't change that what I'm going to do today to get me to that goal. All right? And last but definitely not least, number 7 is celebrate your success. Celebrate your success. No matter how big or small it is, celebrate your success. Take your wins. Now, if you have a fitness goal of something and you're like, hey, I lost 5 pounds this week, Don't go celebrate with a burger and a cake and a milkshake, because that doesn't make sense and it reverses us back, right? But celebrate. Give yourself a pat on the back. Appreciate yourself. Give yourself thanks. What did Snoop Dogg say? I want to thank me. Take the time to acknowledge yourself. Look, put it on social media. Hey, y'all lost 5 pounds this week. Who cares if nobody cares? Y'all gonna know today. Okay? But anyway, that's all I have for you guys for our workshop on goal setting with the intent of making it rewind. Goal setting and making it impossible to not achieve. All right, I hope that this helped you. Make sure you guys watch this replay. I hope that this either refresh your mind from the Femininity Workshop that we did today, or if it's your first time watching, I hope that this helped. Give me your feedback for what you want to see more of, what you want to see next coming from our Femininity Workshops, and we will definitely put it on the schedule to get it done. All right, as always, keep it feminine, fit, and friendly, because nobody wants a baddie with the bad attitude. Peace out, and I'll see you guys soon.